Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I am Stefan FM. Today we're taking a look at a tactic called the Roy Verhagen 4-2-3-1 Geggenpress. Who is Roy Verhagen, you might ask? Well, I had to look this one up. I was looking through Google and everything, trying to figure out who Roy Verhagen is, and apparently it's the creator. Now, the creator on the Steam Workshop where I found this goes by Kutleven, Kutleven. However, when you look into the actual description, someone says, who is Roy Verhagen? Someone said, the author responds, I had no idea how to call it. Haha, that's me. So apparently this is from a guy called Roy Verhagen. But he has taken AZ Alkmaar, unbeaten champions of the Eredivisie, brought it down to the level 2 of the Netherlands, won the league. So he's done a couple of different things with different teams. He's gotten 4 Eredivisie, 3 Dutch champions, 1 Conference League, 3 Johan Cruyff Schal winners, and 1 half-final Champions League. I don't know what that means. So it looks like he has done very well with this tactic. We're going to take a look. It is starting with a sweeper keeper in support, wing back on the left in support, a fullback on the right in support, ball playing defenders in defend, a CM in support next to a box-to-box, inside forward in attack on the left and 1 in support on the right. Centrally, you have an attacking midfielder in attack and followed by an advanced forward up front in attack. Mentality is attacking in possession, attacking width is fairly wide, approach play, pass into space, overlap in the left and right, focus play down the left and right, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, final third, mixed crosses, work the ball in the box, run at defense and be more expressive. Whew, that's a lot of instructions. In transition, you've got counter press, counter, distribute to the center backs and take short kicks. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press much more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Typically with all these instructions, I have been told, at least I've read in previous FMs, that is usually useful for the higher leagues. It's not useful for lower English tiers, simply because there's just too many instructions. They're not going to be able to follow everything, and it just all goes to crap pretty soon. However, if you've read otherwise, please let me know. But that's what I always go on. So I try and keep instructions on lower level teams, kind of to a minimum as best I can. Now, how did it do for our 3 teams of Tottenham, Wolves, and Newcastle? Well, as you can see, okay. Newcastle at 61 points is not too bad. Tottenham at 57, not great. Wolves with 51, that's about average. So overall, nothing really exciting for our 3 teams. Tottenham schedule, you got 2 draws instead of losses, but still not great. Champions League, you got still a ton of games. Carabao Cup, 3rd round, 2 all in penalties. You're out against Middlesbrough in the first half of the season. Second half, a 6-0 drubbing over Wigan. Nice. Champions League, you are out against Inter, or 1-4 away from home, just kicks you out after a 1-4 win at home. And Liverpool drops you out of the FA Cup in the 5th round, 1-5. Wolves, definitely don't expect a whole lot, but actually you have the best August of them all. Unfortunately, September is awful. So you do lose out immediately in the Carabao Cup 2nd round 1-2 against Leeds. And then you continue on FA Cup all the way to the FA Cup quarterfinals against Manchester United, out 2-3. And then April is awful. You could have picked up some of this. I always say that if you take control, do everything yourself, from transfers to shouts to training, you could probably do a heck of a lot better than a lot of these tactics do. But I mean, there's a lot of losses, a couple of draws that you could probably pick up on your own. So as always, check it out yourself, see if you can do any better. But for right now, the sim itself, with all the coaches doing all the work, didn't work out very well. Transfer news for Newcastle, not getting rid of anyone of note. They do bring in Tony Weston, Brian Cristante, Morrison, and Drewsbury Hall. We've seen them all before. Tottenham do push a couple of kids to the door, unfortunately not for a whole lot of money. They do only bring in Adama Traore from Wolves, 35 million, but Facundo Torres from Orlando City for 10 million. And then Wolves, we've already seen Adama Traore go out, but they do bring in actually a couple of players, Chiquinho, Rodriguez, Corona, and Crespo from Fenerbahce. So they spent some money. This is probably one of the first times we've seen them actually spend a little bit of money, at least a little bit more than usual. So with that, our squads, Newcastle, Nick Pope, Trippier, and St. Maximin, all with the appearance tallies. Goal-wise, 41 for Isaac. Holy cow. 15 for St. Maximin, and Almiron with 10. 41 really helped. 16 assists for Joelinton, Almiron with 11, and 9 for a couple of different players. Average rating, they got a ton of players there. 7.60 for Vilka, who's only played 4 matches. But Almiron with a 7-4-0, 7-3-6 for Isaac. I'm really surprised Isaac is so low with 41 goals. Tottenham squad, Hugo Lloris with 48 appearances, Son and Basuma coming in second and third. Goals-wise, 43 for Harry Kane. I mean, again, absolute monstrous tally. And then only a 7.30 for average rating. But Son getting 12, Richarlison getting 10, so he actually is picking up a little bit. Son and Kulusevski with 16 assists apiece, and then all the way down to 9 for Dan Yuma. Average rating a lot less, like we said, than Newcastle, but Harry Kane was 7.3. Really wish that was higher. 7.23 for Kulusevski. Traore was 7.2, so only 2 appearances, though? Why is he only playing twice? I mean, he's injured. Big injury? 5 weeks and 3 months. And then we have Wolves. 44 appearances for Jose Sa. Collins and Nunez with 41 plus 1 and 41 apiece. Goals-wise, Cunha with 19, 16 for Jimenez, Neto with 11. They're spreading out a little bit more than the other two. Assist-wise, 12 for Sarabia and Cunha, and then Neto with 7 all the way down. Average rating about close to Tottenham. 7.49 though. That's the highest one. Pablo Sarabia, Nunez with 7.18, 7.17 for Chiquinho. Nice pickup, I guess. So this time around in the data hub, we do have Newcastle and Wolves looking similar. Shaky defensively, very good in attack. You've got some very strong attacking numbers there. And if you look at Wolves, the overall appearance is pretty much the same. You do have some nice attacking numbers, not quite near Newcastle's, but if we look at Tottenham's data hub, you can see some other strong numbers. Again, not really as strong as you'd like to see them. You really want to see them up where Newcastle had them. But they filled out the general performance overall. Decent defensively, very good in attack. So a little bit better than the other two, even though they were just a little bit lower than Newcastle in the table. So really, we're seeing the attacking side yet again. Most goals, you've got all 3. Few shots against, though. Not really anything here. Most dribbles made, you've got the 3 teams. Nothing in there. Most tackles won, nobody. So the defensive work just isn't there, even though Tottenham said decent defensively. Most shots for you got a couple, but pretty much everything else is blank. Personally, in the Premier League, Alexander Isaac, Kane, and Jimenez all up there. 16 all the way up to 33. Absolutely fantastic. Assist-wise, Jolinton with 15. You got Son up there with 14. Cunha and Kulusevski, Sarabia as well. Player of the Match awards. I mean, you got a couple. All these other areas, though, nothing. No tackles won, or nobody in that most tackles won list. Most key passes, though, Trippier and Sarabia are there with 103 and 139. You do have Jolinton and Son are up there as well. So always fantastic to see Trippier and Sarabia up there. Most shots, Alexander, Isaac, and Cunha in there. But overall, it's really the goal show, and Isaac is just clearly the winner. But now, when it comes to overall, how did this tactic do? Not great. Again, in this sim, it did not do great. I'm not saying anything against the tactic or the maker or anything like that, but in this sim, in this specific instance, it just didn't do all that well. But that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.